Tonight's story begins the way many scandals do, with a quiet secret, a closed notebook, and a marriage that the public thought was unbreakable. For months, fans believed Charlie and Erica were trying to heal, trying to rebuild, trying to survive every rumor that swirled around them. Smiles on camera, polished statements, carefully chosen words. But behind the scenes, something far darker was already in motion. According to a private journal that has now surfaced, Charlie had already made up his mind long before the public ever sensed trouble. He wanted out, and he wanted it badly. The words in that journal hit like a punch to the chest, page after page filled with tension, doubt, frustration, and fear. Lines that suggest late-night arguments, silent dinners, and a growing distance that no amount of public affection could hide. One entry reads like a final confession: "I feel trapped in a life I no longer recognize." Another hints at legal consultations, dates circled, plans carefully drafted and then erased. Fans are shocked, friends are stunned, and Erica, according to sources close to the family, was completely blindsided. What makes this story explode is the timing. While the public watched them appear united, smiling through interviews and posting curated moments, Charlie was allegedly preparing separation papers in private. Emotions ran high in that house, even as cameras never caught a single crack. Those close to the couple now claim there were nights filled with shouting behind closed doors, followed by long stretches of icy silence. The family was left divided as whispers spread from room to room. Some sided with Charlie and believed the marriage had been broken for years. Others stood firmly with Erica, convinced she had been kept in the dark until the very last moment. Then came the confrontation that no one outside that home was supposed to know about. A heated exchange that erupted once Erica allegedly discovered the journal. Voices raised, accusations thrown like knives. Years of resentment poured out in minutes. One person close to the situation says Erica kept repeating the same question through tears: "How long were you planning to leave me?" And Charlie, according to that source, had no answer that could soften the blow. Fans are now tearing apart every old interview, every photograph, every public appearance, searching for signs they once missed. A forced smile here, a stiff posture there. What once looked like minor tension now feels like hidden prophecy. Social media is split between shock and anger. Some feel betrayed, others feel foolish for believing in a story that may have already been unraveling in private. And this is only the beginning, because the journal does not just hint at a desire for divorce, it suggests secret meetings, outside influence, and a chain of events that may have pushed this marriage toward collapse long before anyone noticed. Tonight, we dive into the pages that were never meant to be read, the arguments that were never meant to be heard, and the truth that might change how you see this relationship forever. The first crack appeared on a night that, to the outside world, looked ordinary. A quiet dinner at home. No cameras. No staff. Just Charlie and Erica alone, in a house that had once felt full of promise. According to the leaked journal, Charlie sat across from her, barely touching his food, watching the candle burn lower with every passing minute. Erica tried to fill the silence with small talk about her day, about work, about plans for the weekend. He nodded, distracted, his mind already somewhere else. In the journal, he later wrote, "I looked at her and felt nothing but weight, guilt mixed with relief. I knew then I could not keep pretending." That night ended in their first serious argument in months. Erica asked him why he had grown so distant, why he slept with his phone locked, why he had stopped reaching for her hand. Charlie snapped back, accusing her of controlling him, of never listening, of turning every disagreement into a public performance. Emotions ran high. Voices rose. Harsh words were spoken that could not be taken back. When the argument finally burned itself out, they slept in separate rooms for the first time since their wedding. To the public, it meant nothing. Behind closed doors, it changed everything. In the weeks that followed, Charlie began writing obsessively. Page after page of doubt filled the journal. He questioned his own loyalty. He questioned his love. He questioned whether staying was a form of honesty or cowardice. One entry described Erica as a stranger who knows my face but not my thoughts. Another described his growing resentment. "Every smile feels like a lie, I tell the world," he wrote. Yet every morning, he still walked into the kitchen, kissed her cheek, and played the role of devoted husband. Erica sensed the shift but did not understand its cause. Friends say she tried to fix what she could not name. She planned surprise date nights. She changed her schedule to match his. She even booked a private marriage counselor without telling him, hoping to catch him off guard with a solution instead of a problem. When she finally told him about the appointment, he refused to go. He claimed he was too busy. The truth, according to the journal, was simpler and colder. I already know how this ends. I just don't know how to leave without destroying everything. The distance between them became visible to those closest to them. Erica's sister noticed Charlie no longer joined family gatherings. His mother stopped calling the house. Friends who once joked about their public chemistry now whispered that something felt off. Still, no one imagined divorce was already being shaped in secret. Not when they were still posting smiling photos. Not when they were still attending events together. Not when Charlie still called Erica my wife in interviews. Then came the first legal consultation. It happened on a rainy afternoon when Charlie told Erica he had a work meeting across town. Instead, he parked 2 blocks from a discreet office and walked in alone. In the journal, he described his hands shaking as he signed his name at the front desk. The word divorce looked unreal on the intake form. He wrote, "I expected to feel panic. I felt calm." That moment, hidden from everyone else, marked the point of no return. While Charlie studied exit strategies, Erica was planning a future. She spoke openly about children. She spoke about moving to a larger home. She spoke about renewing their vows someday. Each plan, unknowingly, landed on a man who was already writing his way out. Friends recall how excited she was during that time, how she spoke of the next chapter with hope in her eyes. The contrast between her dreams and his secret decisions would later haunt everyone who learned the truth. The second major confrontation happened when Erica found a receipt she could not explain. It was folded into the pocket of one of Charlie's jackets, the name of a law firm she did not recognize. When she asked him about it, he froze. For a split second, the mask slipped. He quickly claimed it was related to a business matter, but his voice lacked conviction. Erica did not press him then, but doubt took root. From that day on, she began watching him closely. His late nights, his sudden privacy, his guarded tone. She checked his phone once while he showered and found nothing. He had learned to erase his tracks. Still, her instincts would not quiet. She confided in a close friend that she felt as if her marriage was slipping away and she did not know why. That friend later said Erica cried through the entire conversation, repeating that she felt foolish for feeling suspicious without proof. All the while, Charlie continued to write. The journal entries grew darker. He described feeling trapped by public expectation. He blamed fame. He blamed pressure. He blamed Erica. He even blamed himself. In one entry he admitted he was afraid of the backlash, afraid of how fans would turn on him, afraid of looking like the villain. Yet he wrote another line underneath that fear. Staying is slowly killing me. What no one knew then was that outside influence had already entered the picture. A new confidant. Someone who listened without judgment. Someone who told him he deserved happiness, even if it meant burning everything behind him. The journal never names this person, but the hints are unmistakable. Late-night phone calls. Long walks that stretched for hours. Advice that encouraged escape, not repair. This influence would soon become a turning point no one could undo. And as all of this unfolded in silence, Erica continued to play the devoted wife in public, unaware that the man beside her had already taken the first steps toward ending their marriage. The outside influence grew stronger with each passing week, and Charlie's behavior shifted in ways Erica could no longer ignore. He became guarded with his time, protective of his silence. There were nights he returned home long after midnight, eyes distant, words clipped. When Erica asked where he had been, he gave vague answers. Work, meetings, stress, the usual excuses. But the warmth that once softened those answers was gone. In its place sat a quiet impatience that frightened her more than anger ever could. One evening, Erica waited up for him, sitting on the couch with the lights low. When he finally walked in, she did not raise her voice. She did. When he finally walked in, she did not raise her voice. She did. A second woman came forward, this time showing blurred images of text messages that appeared to carry Jock's name and number. The tone of the messages was intimate, familiar, the kind of tone that only exists when two people believe no one else is watching. Once again, fans are shocked. Once again, emotions ran high. Kendra stopped eating. Her sister moved in to help with the kids. Jock began sleeping in a guest room, though some nights he did not come home at all. The house that once held family dinners and quiet laughter now echoed with closed doors and unanswered questions. One evening, as the sun dipped low behind the trees, Kendra finally asked the question she had been avoiding. Do you even want this marriage anymore? Jock looked at her for a long time before answering. I do not know how to fix what I broke, he said quietly. For Kendra, that was not an answer. And in the space left by that uncertainty, something inside her shifted from hope to resolve. She began to realize that spilling the truth was no longer just about exposing betrayal. It was about deciding whether she would continue to live inside it, What neither of them knew was that legal papers were already being discussed in quiet meetings, and one unexpected decision, made in secret, was about to turn this personal war into a public reckoning that no apology could soften. The first call from the lawyer came before Kendra was fully ready to accept what it meant. It was early morning. The house was quiet except for the soft sound of the kids getting ready for school. Jock was not home. He had not come back the night before. When Kendra saw the unfamiliar number, she almost ignored it. Something in her chest told her not to. The voice on the other end was calm, professional. The words were anything but. Someone from Jock's side had already made an inquiry about separation terms. Not a filing yet, just a quiet test of the waters. Kendra felt her breath catch as she listened, so while she was still trying to understand whether her marriage could be saved, he was already exploring how to leave. That was the moment the hurt sharpened into something colder. She did not call Jock right away. Instead, she sat in the car after dropping the kids off and stared at the steering wheel for a long time. Memories rose without permission. Their first months together, the promises they made when the cameras were off, the things she defended him for when rumors surfaced years ago. She had worn loyalty like armor. Now it felt like it had only made the blows hurt more. By midday, blogs were reporting that sources close to the couple claimed divorce papers were being prepared. Fans are shocked once more. Emotions ran high again. Some praised Kendra for her strength. Others accused her of airing dirty laundry for sympathy. The family was left divided even in the comment sections of strangers. Jock finally called that evening. His voice was tight, controlled. "Why did your lawyer reach out to mine?" Kendra did not hesitate. "Because I found out yours reached out first." Silence stretched between them again, the kind of silence that confirms more than it denies. "I was just protecting myself," he said. "You put everything out in public. What did you expect?" "I expected you to talk to me before you talked to lawyers," she replied. "I expected you to fight for your family instead of preparing an exit." That night, the confrontation turned into something neither of them would forget. They sat across from each other at the same table where they once planned holidays and birthdays. Now they traded timelines instead of dreams. Kendra laid out every date that matched the women's claims. Jock dismissed some as coincidence, stumbled over others. The lies began to unravel, not in a dramatic collapse, but in small, humiliating slips. Then Kendra said the sentence that changed the mood entirely. "One of them told me she met your mother." Jock's face drained of color. He denied it at first. Quickly, too quickly, but Kendra watched the truth rise behind his eyes before the words could bury it again. His mother, who had always sworn she supported their marriage, had known. Maybe not every detail, maybe not every woman, but enough to stay quiet. Enough to protect her son, instead of her daughter-in-law. When Kendra later called Jock's mother, the conversation was brief and devastating. The older woman admitted she had suspicions. She claimed she tried to warn Jock in her own way. To Kendra, it sounded like justification wrapped in apology. The family was left divided in a way that felt permanent. Within days, more insiders began speaking. A former driver hinted at late-night detours. A stylist mentioned seeing unfamiliar women backstage who were treated with unusual familiarity. Each new voice added another crack to the public image Jock had carefully built. Fans are shocked again. Emotions ran high again. The cycle fed itself. Behind the scenes, the pressure took its toll. Jock's career bookings slowed. Sponsors hesitated. Kendra's inbox filled with interview requests she refused to answer. She did not want another headline. She wanted sleep. She wanted peace. She wanted the man she married to either tell the full truth or stop pretending he still could. One night, after the kids were asleep, Jock finally broke down. Real tears this time. No performance, no defense. He admitted to more than he ever had before. Not every rumor, but enough that Kendra felt the last thread of denial slip through her fingers. He spoke about ego, about temptation, about feeling admired and wanting to escape the weight of responsibility for a while. Each confession landed heavier than the last. Kendra listened without interrupting. When he finished, she did not scream. She did not cry. She simply said, "You chose yourself over us." Again and again. The next morning, she packed a small bag and took the kids to her mother's house. The separation was quiet. No police, no shouting in the driveway, just a woman walking away from a life she had tried to save for too long. Jock watched them leave from the porch, his face unreadable. Neighbors whispered. Cameras appeared at the end of the street within hours. The family was left divided in public view, but the real shock was yet to come. 2 weeks later, a leaked audio recording began circulating online. In it, a male voice believed to be Jock's discussed keeping things quiet with someone he called the Atlanta situation. The voice spoke about money, about damage control, about protecting a brand at all costs. Fans are shocked beyond words. Emotions ran high to a breaking point. Trust in every past denial collapsed overnight. Jock's team rushed out a statement, calling the audio manipulated. Experts online argued over its authenticity, but to Kendra, the tone of the voice was enough. She recognized it in her bones. It was the same calm he used when he thought he was in control. That was the night she decided to tell everything. Not to a gossip page, not to a blogger, to a camera, in a controlled interview on her own terms. She would no longer hint. She would no longer protect the image that had cost her so much. When news of the scheduled interview broke, the internet reacted like a live wire. Fans counted down the hours. Jock's inner circle went into full crisis mode. Phone calls flew. Emergency meetings took place behind closed doors. Deals were offered. Threats were implied. Apologies were delivered too late and too softly. On the morning of the interview, Kendra sat in the makeup chair, staring at her reflection. The woman in the mirror looked older than she had a month ago. Not by years, by battles. The producer asked if she was ready. Kendra nodded once. As the red light on the camera flicked on, she took a slow breath and said, "There are things I stayed silent about because I thought silence would save my family. Today, I understand that silence only saved the lies." And with that, the real story was finally about to be told. The interview began slowly, almost cautiously. Kendra leaned forward in the chair, her hands folded neatly in her lap. The cameras rolled, lights glaring, and the crew stayed silent. Sensing that the moment about to unfold would not just be another celebrity gossip story. This was personal, raw, dangerous. "I want to start at the beginning," Kendra said, her voice steady. "Not at the rumors, not at the leaks. At the beginning of what really happened inside my marriage." She took a deep breath, the kind that fills the lungs but also steadies the heart. "We were happy, at least publicly. We had a life that everyone admired. But behind closed doors, things began to shift slowly. The late nights, the missed calls, the excuses, they all added up, and I ignored the signs because I wanted to believe. I wanted to believe that love could survive everything, but love alone couldn't survive betrayal." As Kendra spoke, the feed showed flashbacks images of Jock at awards shows, selfies with fans, moments where his smiles looked a little too practiced. The host asked her about the other women. "Yes," Kendra said without hesitation. "There were other women, and it's not just one. There were whispers that turned into messages, messages that turned into meetings. And when I confronted him, he would apologize, say it wouldn't happen again. But apologies are easy to give when you've already broken trust." The interviewer leaned in, careful not to interrupt, but the tension in the room was thick enough to choke. "Did he ever admit to the physical affair?" Kendra paused. Her eyes glimmered with the weight of the truth she had been carrying. "He admitted to some things. Not everything, but the emotional betrayals, the lies, the hidden meetings, the manipulation, were enough. Enough to make me question everything we built together." Behind the camera, production assistants whispered. Outside, the internet exploded. Fans shared snippets of the interview in every tweet, every clip, every reaction fueled a frenzy. Comments flooded in. "She's telling the truth. I can't believe this. The family is torn." Kendra continued. "I also learned that people I trusted, friends, family, knew more than they told me. Jock's mother, for instance, had her suspicions. She tried to warn him in her own way, but she did nothing to protect me. And that was when I realized the betrayal went deeper than just one person." The host asked about the kids. "How are they handling this?" Kendra's eyes softened. "They're young, but they know tension when they see it. I'm doing everything to protect them, but I won't protect the truth anymore. My children deserve honesty, and so do I." Then came the twist that nobody expected. "There's more," she said, her voice dropping, pulling everyone leaning in closer. "The women involved, they weren't just strangers. One of them is someone I never would have suspected, someone who has been close to our family, someone who Jock trusted enough to let into our lives. And I found out about her months ago." A collective gasp echoed from those watching. Fans are shocked. Emotions ran high. The family was left divided as the revelation rippled across social media. Analysts dissected every word. Every phrase became a headline. Speculations ran rampant. Theories blossomed in forums. And the narrative was no longer about Kendra or Jock alone. It had expanded into an intricate web of secrets, lies, and public fascination. Kendra leaned back slightly, her expression fierce but composed. "I stayed silent for so long because I loved him. I stayed silent because I believed in family, but I cannot stay silent anymore. Not when everything we built is being questioned. Not when the public deserves the truth." And certainly not when my heart has been broken in ways that cannot be repaired with apologies alone." For a moment, the studio was silent, the weight of her words sinking in. The cameras rolled on, capturing every pause, every inhale, every flicker of emotion. And outside, the world waited, watching, tweeting, debating, because the real story of Kendra and young Jock had only just begun to unfold. The betrayal, the secrets, the twisted loyalties, it was all coming to light, one shocking revelation at a time. What would happen next? Would the marriage survive? Or was this the public unraveling of something once private? Fans are shocked. Emotions ran high. And as Kendra ended the interview, the internet knew one thing for certain: nothing would ever look the same again. The morning after the interview, the aftermath hit like a storm. Headlines screamed across every entertainment site: Kendra exposes young Jock's betrayals, shocking fans worldwide. Social media exploded. Clips of the interview went viral, hashtags trended, and comments poured in by the thousands. Fans were shocked. Emotions ran high. The family was left divided as everyone scrambled to pick sides, some siding with Kendra, others defending Jock. The story had taken on a life of its own, far beyond what either of them could control. Jock, meanwhile, retreated into silence. For the first time, he realized that public opinion might be a force stronger than any apology. His team scrambled, reaching out to PR specialists, trying to contain the narrative, but every attempt seemed to backfire. Screenshots from Kendra's interview circulated endlessly, and each new post was dissected with meticulous attention by fans and media alike. Friends who had stayed neutral now felt pressure to speak up. Old texts, old photos, even offhand comments were re-examined. Every detail mattered. Inside the house, the tension was unbearable. Kendra spent her days with the kids, trying to keep life normal, but the shadow of the betrayal hung over every interaction. She received messages from Jock late at night, some apologetic, some pleading, some defensive, but none carried the truth she needed. At one point, she told him, "I don't need words. I need actions. I need honesty. And I don't think you can give me either anymore." Jock's friends, meanwhile, began leaking small pieces of their own version of the story online. Some claimed Jock had been stressed and overwhelmed, caught between fame and family obligations. Others hinted that Kendra had pushed the situation into the public eye intentionally. The cycle of accusations intensified. Fans analyzed the timeline of events, trying to determine who was telling the truth. The family was left divided, not only in reality but in perception. Then came the next twist. An anonymous source, claiming to be a close friend of Jock, released alleged text messages between him and the women involved. The content was intimate, flirtatious, and shocking enough to push the story into a new level of public outrage. Kendra's side of the story was validated in the eyes of many fans, but some remained skeptical, claiming it could have been fabricated. Emotions ran high. Fans were shocked once again. Jock tried to respond publicly with a video statement. His face was pale, his voice strained. "I've made mistakes," he said. "I've hurt people I love. I regret it deeply. I am committed to making things right, but I also ask for privacy as we work through this." The video, instead of calming the storm, ignited it. People debated the sincerity of his apology, scrutinized his tone, his gestures, and the choice of words. Each analysis fueled speculation. Kendra, seeing the video, felt a mixture of relief and frustration. Relief because Jock was finally acknowledging some wrongdoing. Frustration because the sincerity felt half. She realized that the public battle was only the beginning. The private fight, the one that mattered most, was far from over. By this time, fans began sending messages of support to Kendra. Some offered words of encouragement. Others sent gifts or shared personal stories of betrayal and resilience. Her social media grew exponentially, and the narrative slowly began to shift in her favor. She was no longer just the wronged wife. She was a symbol of strength, honesty, and courage. But as the days turned into weeks, another shock awaited. Leaked footage from one of Jock's recent studio sessions emerged, showing interactions that hinted at more behind-the-scenes chaos than anyone imagined. Friends and insiders began coming forward publicly, adding layers to the story that made the public question whether reconciliation was even possible. Fans were shocked yet again. Emotions ran high. Through it all, Kendra maintained her composure. She posted occasionally, choosing her words carefully, knowing that every post could influence public perception. She focused on her children, on herself, and on the undeniable fact that her life had changed forever. Meanwhile, Jock's attempts at damage control seemed increasingly desperate. The family was left divided. The fans were obsessed, and the drama showed no signs of stopping. And in this escalating storm of betrayal, secrecy, and public scrutiny, one thing was certain. The real story between Kendra and young Jock was far from over. New twists were on the horizon, revelations that would shock fans even more, and decisions that could ultimately determine whether the marriage survived or completely imploded in full public view. As the weeks passed, the tension between Kendra and Jock escalated into something even more volatile. Private confrontations became public speculation. Every outing, every social media post, every seemingly innocent photo was analyzed for hidden meanings, coded messages, or subtle admissions of guilt. Fans dissected every detail. Emotions ran high. The family was left divided, watching as the drama unfolded like a reality show they hadn't signed up for. One evening, Kendra received a message that made her pause. It was from an unknown number. A short text that simply read, "I know everything. Meet me." Her heart skipped. Was this another secret admirer? Another person connected to Jock? Or someone with information that could change everything? She debated, ignoring it, but curiosity and the desire for truth. The meeting was arranged at a quiet cafe in the early afternoon. Kendra arrived first, scanning the room. A woman entered shortly after, sunglasses concealing her eyes, a hood partially covering her hair. She slid into the seat across from Kendra without a word. The tension was immediate. "I'm here because I know about Jock," the woman said, her voice low. "I know the full timeline, the lies, the meetings, the texts you never saw." Kendra leaned forward, her pulse quickening. "Why come to me?" "Because he's lying to everyone. He's lied to you the most," the woman replied, "and he thinks no one knows. But I've kept track. I have records, photos, messages, times and places. Everything." Kendra's mind raced. The betrayal she felt before now seemed like a fraction of the iceberg she was uncovering. Her hand shook slightly as she accepted a small envelope the woman handed her. Inside were screenshots, photos from clandestine hotel visits, and conversations that left no room for doubt. The evidence was overwhelming. She left the cafe with a mixture of relief and rage. She had the proof she needed, not just for herself, but for the world watching. Fans are shocked. Emotions ran high. The family, now more divided than ever, would have to reckon with this revelation sooner or later. That night, Jock returned home, unaware of the meeting. He found Kendra sitting in the living room, the envelope on the table between them. The air was thick with tension. "You've been busy," he said cautiously, sensing the change. Kendra looked up, her eyes sharp and unwavering. "I have what I need now. No more lies. No more excuses." For the first time, Jock's confidence faltered. He realized that Kendra had crossed a threshold. She was no longer reacting to his actions but preparing to confront them with undeniable evidence. "I don't know what you mean," he said, but the hesitation in his voice betrayed him. "Don't play games," Kendra replied. "You can't hide behind charm or money or reputation anymore. I know everything. And the world will know, too, if you don't finally own up." The confrontation that followed was not explosive in words but electric in intensity. The two sat across from each other, the envelope a silent witness to months of lies, secrets, and betrayal. Emotions ran high. The family was left divided, even in imagination, as each considered the irreversible path they were on. By morning, the story had leaked, not from Kendra, but from an anonymous source who had seen the envelope. Fans are shocked yet again. Every detail from the cafe meeting, every new piece of evidence, fueled speculation. Social media became a war zone of opinions, theories, and debates. Everyone wanted to know what Kendra would do next and what Jock would say in response. In the days that followed, the tension mounted to a breaking point. Jock's attempts at reconciliation appeared shallow. Kendra, armed with proof and newfound resolve, began planning her next move not just for herself, but to reclaim control of a narrative that had long been dominated by deception. And just when it seemed like the story had reached its peak, an unexpected message arrived, a cryptic text from Jock's inner circle hinting at a confession that could change everything once more. Fans were shocked. Emotions ran high. The drama, it seemed, had only just begun. Would Kendra confront the confession? Would Jock finally admit the full truth? The world waited with bated breath, knowing one thing for certain. The next revelation would be bigger than anything before. And no one's loyalty, including the family's, would remain unshaken. Days turned into tense weeks, and the story continued to spiral beyond what anyone could have imagined. Kendra's social media accounts were now flooded with messages of support, while Jock's followers clung to his sporadic posts, desperately hoping for clarity or a denial that never came. Every comment, every tag, Every hashtag became part of a massive conversation that neither of them could fully control. Fans are shocked. Emotions ran high. The family was left divided in a way that felt permanent. Then came an unexpected twist. A leaked audio clip of Jock talking to one of the women appeared online. In it, he admitted to more than anyone had suspected. The tone of voice was casual, almost dismissive, which made the betrayal sting even deeper. Fans dissected every word, every pause, every laugh. The internet exploded again. Kendra's supporters hailed the audio as proof. Jock's team called it manipulated, but the damage was done. Kendra, meanwhile, remained resolute. She refused to speak publicly beyond carefully crafted posts that hinted at her strength and her pain. Behind closed doors, however, the confrontation with Jock continued. It was no longer about individual moments of betrayal, it was about the cumulative effect of years of deception. Every lie, every hidden message, every secret meeting weighed on the space between them. "I can't pretend anymore," Kendra said one night, her voice steady but fierce. "I can't act like everything is fine. I can't sit here while you lie to more to yourself." Jock looked down, silence stretching between them. For the first time, he seemed vulnerable, not defensive, not arrogant, vulnerable. "I never wanted it to get this far," he admitted, but Kendra was beyond consolation. "It's too late for regrets," she said. "The damage is done. I need to know if you want to fight for this marriage or if you've already given up." The next morning, Kendra took the kids to her mother's house. Jock stayed behind, pacing the living room, phone in hand, attempting to draft messages that could somehow undo the growing wave of public scrutiny. The family was left divided, each member forced to confront their own loyalties and perceptions of the truth. Then another bombshell dropped. A celebrity gossip blogger posted a series of screenshots from someone claiming to be a friend of Jock's, revealing financial arrangements, secret trips, and private meetings that had never been public. Fans were shocked. Emotions ran high again. The revelation added another layer to an already intricate web of betrayal and secrecy. Jock's response was slow and deliberate. He released a short video, face tight, eyes downcast. "I have made mistakes," he said. "I have hurt those I love. I am committed to making amends and taking responsibility. This is a private matter, but I understand that the public deserves transparency." The statement, however, did little to calm the growing storm. Critics argued over sincerity, timing, and intention. Meanwhile, Kendra began planning her next move strategically. She consulted legal advisors, prepared statements, and considered her public image. But more importantly, she focused on her children and herself, reclaiming control over a life that had been overshadowed by betrayal. Then came a final twist that no one saw coming. A third party, previously unknown, reached out to Kendra with new evidence implicating Jock in activities that went far beyond emotional infidelity. The details were shocking enough to change the narrative again, enough to make fans question everything they thought they knew. Emotions ran high. Fans were shocked. The family, already divided, faced the prospect of deeper fractures. At this point, it was clear. The story was no longer just about a marriage. It was about trust, power, betrayal, and the unraveling of public perception. Kendra had stepped out from the shadows, no longer the silent victim but the orchestrator of her own truth. Jock, meanwhile, was left grappling with the consequences of his actions, public and private. And as the world watched, waiting for the next revelation, one thing became painfully clear. The drama between Kendra and young Jock had become a spectacle of epic proportions, with twists, betrayals, and confrontations that would leave fans talking for months to come. Nothing would ever be the same again. The storm was far from over. And so, the story stands at a crossroads. Kendra has exposed the cracks, the secrets, and the betrayals. Young Jock has been confronted with the truth, forced to face the consequences of choices that no apology can fully erase. The family remains divided, friends and fans caught in the whirlwind of speculation. And the world watches as every move, every message, every decision is dissected under an unforgiving public eye. What happens next is anyone's guess. Will the marriage survive this avalanche of betrayal, lies, and hidden truths? Can trust ever be rebuilt after the extent of the revelations? Or is this the beginning of a permanent split that will redefine both their lives forever? The answers remain shrouded in uncertainty, leaving fans desperate for updates and hungry for every detail. This is where you come in. We want to hear your thoughts. Do you believe Kendra will forgive? Can young Jock truly make amends? Or is it too late for their marriage? Drop your opinions in the comments below. Your perspective might just spark the next wave of conversation. If you haven't already, make sure to like this video to show your support for uncovering the truth. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next explosive update in this ongoing drama. And share this with friends who need to see the story unravel in real time. The saga of Kendra and young Jock is far from over, and the next chapter could shock the world even more. Stay tuned, because in this story, nothing is ever as it seems, and the truth always finds its way out. Your voice matters here. Comment, like, subscribe, and join the conversation, because the drama is only getting started. Join the conversation, because the drama is only getting started.